It's now time for a small exercise. So scroll down to the bottom of the references spreadsheet and you will be presented with a table that looks like this. Yours will look a little bit different to mine in that the sales tax, the line total, and also the grand total will not be there because obviously this is something you need to work out yourself. But I've left mine complete because I just need to shed a little bit of light on this so that you know exactly what needs to be done. So as per the instructions here in this text box, firstly, you need to work out the line total, and that would just be unit price times quantity, and then you also need to add the sales tax. And then step 2 is finding out the sales tax itself. So this would be unit price times quantity multiplied by the percentage, and you may or may not have to use some type of reference for that. And then finally, you would just work out the grand total using a sum function or a basic formula. Now, if you're not feeling too confident about this, not to worry, you can just watch the solution video and see how I do it. But if you really wanted to, you can go ahead and try and give this a go yourself. And just remember, once again, you do have the instructions in this text box here, and I've tried to make it as clear as possible. So anyway, go ahead and attempt the exercise if you want to, and I'll see you in the solution part of the video. Alright, so how did you get on? It's now time for the solution part of the video. So firstly, I'm just going to delete all of this information here, all of this data. And firstly, I'm going to work out the line total. Now I did say that you need to multiply unit price by quantity. So, actually, I didn't need to do that. It needs to go here. So you start with your equal sign, and because of the structure of this formula, we have to start with an open parentheses. We'll get the 495 and multiply this by this amount here. Close it off, and then we're going to put in our addition operator and select the cell here. Now obviously there's nothing in the sales tax column yet, but when there is something there, it will be added to the line total. So I'll just bring this down the column like this, and that has auto-filled. Now we can move on to the sales tax. So this would be the equal sign once again, open parentheses, I'll go get the unit price, multiplied by the quantity, close this off, and this needs to be multiplied by the percentage, which is this percentage here. And at this point, I could use a mixed reference, but I'm just going to press F4 on my keyboard, and that would be Command plus T on a Mac. And I'm just going to use an absolute reference just to make sure this stays exactly where I want it. So I'll press enter, and I don't know if you saw there, but this figure actually changed. So if I were to just use autofill here to go down one row, you can see these figures here are changing. So let's go all the way down the column, and you can see they've all changed. And this autofill option here, I don't know if it's some type of glitch in Excel just on my machine, but basically I had to do this, just move the answer out the way and then bring it back to get rid of it. I don't know what that's all about. But basically that's been done. And now all I have to do is just use auto sum. So I'll come to this drop down here, click on sum, make sure that the right range of data has been selected, and I'll press enter. So the main thing there, seeming we've been learning about references, is just ensuring that you use an absolute reference or a mixed reference, but we just use an absolute reference this time for this cell here. That's probably one of the main things you needed to do. So anyway, that is the end of the exercise. It wasn't too extensive, I guess, but in any case, hopefully you have a much deeper understanding of the different types of references within Microsoft Excel.